the most I don't know, I've been in thought a lot about 2023, what it represents for me, what I want it to represent, what I want it to look like. 2022 was a heck of a year. I think not just for myself, for my friends, for my clients. I don't think that there was anyone in my life that 2022 was just, good with. There was a lot of things that took place that we couldn't control. There were a lot of tragedies that happened, a lot of heartbreaks that happened, and you just roll. You learn to roll with the punches of life. And 2022 had hands, okay? 2022 had hands. So, my hope, my desire is that 2023 will be a year where all of the pain, all of the disappointment, all of the struggle, all of the hardship that was in 2022 is going to be the joy and the happiness and the abundance and the success of 2023. That is what my hope is for. What I do know is that no matter what storm we're in, the storm is always going to pass, right? No matter where you are in your life right now, if you feel like you are in a storm, storms come to pass. The goal is to make sure that as the storm is passing, that you don't give up anything that belongs to you. That as the storm is passing, you have to make sure that you don't give up anything that belongs to you. And I say that because, myself included, when life is hard, when life is difficult, the knee jerk response is to quit, to give up, to walk away, to cut ties. And sometimes, if you're not careful, you may give up something that belonged to you because the journey to getting it was difficult. The journey to establishing it was hard. I think even for myself in 2022, one of the hardest things I had to keep my mind focused on was making sure that I didn't give up something that belonged to me. That no matter what the journey looked like, and it was bleak at times, to make sure that I didn't give up anything that belonged to me. This weekend or this past week, I've been working on a project. So I've had a lot of time to think and reflect. And one of the most profound thoughts I had was that overwhelmed does not mean overcome. Overwhelmed does not mean overcome. I spent majority of 2022 overwhelmed. Majority, okay? Not a few days, not a few months. I spent majority of 2022 overwhelmed. And overwhelm is an emotion that I do not like. I do not enjoy it, mostly because it affects my ability to be in a constant state of peace and joy. So I spent a lot of my time overwhelmed because there was a lot I was dealing with that was outside of my control. And there was a lot of stuff that I was dealing with because I was the only person who could deal with it. So I spent a lot of time overwhelmed and just working my way through it, working my way through it, working my way through it. And as I'm now closer to the end of this cycle, closer to being on the other side, and I'm looking back at everything that I endured, everything I went through, the word that I received was that overwhelmed does not mean overcome. And that means that despite all of your days, if 365 of the days in 2022, if they were all overwhelming, you're standing here and you have not been overcome by them. Overwhelmed, yes. But did it overcome you? Has it defeated you? Yes, you got scars. Yes, you got knocked in the mouth. Yes, you got knocked down and you got kicked when you thought you were getting back up. You took some blows, but here you are, and you have yet to be overcome. That to me, I would love to say it was reassuring. I think it wasn't as reassuring as it was just confirmation that you guys know I wrote the book made for this. It's a constant reminder that a part of my DNA, a part of my makeup is my ability to be resilient and to bounce back, to move forward in spite of whatever it is that I'm facing. That has always been a part of my unique design. And that's part of me that I'm grateful for. But I know moving forward, if I've come through the hard part, At some point, we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. At some point, we get to enjoy what we've built. And that's what I'm looking forward to for 2023 is entering into a place and a phase in my life where I'm like, okay, I can breathe. I'm not stressed. I can get moved back into that state of peace and calm that I'm used to, that I enjoy, that allows me to thrive in the best of my ability. That's what I'm looking forward to in 2022. Um, Questions. I'm looking at the chat, you guys. Um, if you guys have questions about your year, your 2023, tell me what you're excited about, what you're looking forward to happening, what you're looking forward to leaving in 2022. What are you looking forward to leaving in 2022? I think that's a big indication. On Tuesday Night Live, I talked to you guys and I told you I made a quit list. There are a lot of things that I want to quit doing in 2023. And there are things that stop me from having control over the things that I do have control over. Anything that steals your peace, anything that steals your joy, those things go on your quit list. Anything that is frustrating and it doesn't have a high return on investment, right? You don't see the goodness coming out of it that you're putting into it. I think if I scroll down Instagram right now, you're going to see people talking about the relationships that they want to release. And releasing relationships are important, but can I challenge you guys that relationships with people are not the only things that we're going to have to release as we move into 2023? I want you guys to think about how do I need to release and what do I need to release about myself? I think sometimes people forget that the only reason why you have to release these people at the beginning of the year is because there has been something within yourself that has kept you connected to these people. The people are not the problem, because if you have a toxic friendship with a friend who's inconsiderate, who doesn't think of you, who's rude, who's not, loving, if you have a relationship with this person and you say, okay, I'm going to release this person in 2022, they're not going with me into my new year. Okay, great. But understand that unless you address the mindset that you have that even kept you in that friendship in the first place, you're going to do nothing but attract another friend with the same characteristics. It's not the people in your life that are the problem. It's the lack of boundaries that's the problem. It's not knowing what a loving friendship looks like. That's the problem. It's not knowing how to communicate what you need. Those are all problems that are within your control. So releasing people is important, but most importantly, I want you to release the parts of yourself that are keeping you stagnated, that are keeping you in relationships that don't serve you, that have you in a place where you may be justifying certain people. I had a friendship that I literally, it was probably the most craziest friendship. It took me a while to get out of that friendship. And I say get out because I knew for years, I knew for maybe 3 years that I was like, this is no bueno. This is not for you. And I kept justifying. I'm like, okay, well, they're not a bad person. Like they have a big heart, they're loving. They just have these little twerks about them, you know? And because I understood the twerks, I would tolerated them. Okay. And that's a word all in itself. Because I understood the dysfunction, I tolerated it. Understand that the better you understand someone's dysfunction is because you are relating to that dysfunction. The only reason why you can understand this person, the only reason why you get where this person's coming from is because you're used to tolerating that level of dysfunction. So you have to call yourself on, okay, first of all, why do I have such a high tolerance for dysfunction? Where did it come from? And is this how I want to continue? Is this how I want to continue? You have to make that very clear distinction, because otherwise you will find yourself keep repeating that cycle. Just because I understand it doesn't mean I have to tolerate it. Just because I get where you're coming from doesn't mean I have to tolerate it. So for years I kept tolerating this person because I was like, well, they have They don't mean it that way. They just have, that's just how they are. Without reaching that point where I said, okay, Brittany, is this the type of friendship that you want? You don't even trust this person. You don't talk to them about anything that's important to you. You don't let them in on anything that they could use against you, yet you tolerate this friendship. Why? And so I had to address the part of me that was unwilling to remove people from my life who didn't serve a purpose, who weren't good for me, who I don't even know if they wanted to see good happen for me. I had to address that part of me. And that didn't happen at the beginning of the year. That was like a mid-year decision. You don't need January 1 to give you permission to say this no longer serves me. Okay? This no longer serves me. So, release people, yes. But let's also release the parts of ourselves that have been limiting, that has held us up. Does that make sense? I'm back to the chat. Let me know in the chat. I see, and this is where I prefer. I probably prefer. Um, it's gonna be a rough transition. Okay, because at least on Instagram I could see who's live with me. Um, I'm watching my own playback. Okay, and I can see that there's a delay in the playback as I watch it. But questions. I need questions. Questions in the chat. This is funny. Okay. Questions in the chat. Questions in the chat so that I can figure out how to use my YouTube. Oh, you know what? This is complicated. So I wasn't watching the whole. I was okay. Never. All right. So let me shout out the people I do see. Hello, Miss Wilma. I'm glad you said something. Hi. How are you? Miss Joy. Hey, girl. Apollina. Miss Aquero. How are you guys? I want to know what you guys are looking through. I want to know what are you excited about? What are you afraid of? What are you trying to figure out as you're trying to grow into this next version of you? And listen, I even recognize that everybody's agenda for 2023 is not to become a better person. That's not everybody. That's not everyone's agenda. Everyone isn't trying to fix themselves, right? The daily fix. Everyone is not trying to um, grow in certain areas or evolve in certain areas. Some people are just focused on enjoying life in the here and now. There's nothing wrong with that. I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was telling them that every season is not an evolving season. Okay. Every season is not an evolving season. Some seasons we go through because we are learning different skill sets. Some seasons we go through because we're grieving. Some seasons we go through because we're shedding certain things. Every season is not an evolving season. The caterpillar does not evolve until it goes into its cocoon, right? So understand it and don't feel the pressure. Right now on Instagram, I promise you to God, there are posts everywhere about what your New Year's resolutions need to be and what you need to be working on, and this uh, quiet, quiet, quiet. And that's a word for a lot of you, because some of you, before you make your declarations for what you want for 2023, you need peace and quiet, because there are a lot of people who can't decide for themselves what they want because they have so much chatter going on around them. Whether it's your friends, your family, your coworker, your boss, everybody has expectations for what they think you should be doing in this season. And that may or may not line up with what you want or what feels good to you. Silence. Make you get clarity for your vision in silence with nobody else's opinion, nobody else's input, nobody else's guidance or direction, but you get to sit in a quiet place with you and God and say, what is this season for me? Do not feel pressure to be evolving if this is not an evolving season for you. If this is your season to focus on happiness, do that. If this is your season to focus on stillness, do that. If this is your season to focus on just your relationship with God or just, you know, having a better relationship with yourself or a relationship with your family. Every season is not an evolving season. Life, we are all in continuation. That's what I wanted to say. We are all in continuation, right? And continuing means it's like as I was I was working on my project this week and I was listening to The Walking Dead in the background. I used to watch Walking Dead a lot and then I just stopped because it got crazy. So I was like, well, I got to know how it ends because I never went back to it. So I don't know, you know. And so I put it on and it just kept playing episode after episode after episode and it just kept building and it just kept building and it just kept building. I still ain't finished it. But the point is, each episode was a continuation of the other. Each episode was a continuation. I didn't go from one episode to the next episode with absolutely no context. What it was about. Everything built off of each other. Everything continued off of each other. And I want you to start looking at yourself as this is a continuation for me. You don't have to reinvent yourself into this new metamorphosis, female or woman. Give yourself permission to continue. It's growth, it's a process. But yes, Miss Abelina says, soft girl years, seeing that a lot. Yes. uh, you know my thoughts about soft girl year. I love the concept of soft girl. I don't think everybody knows what that means. I don't know who coined the term. I don't know where it started. Um, I don't think people realize what it takes to be soft. I don't think people realize the amount of confrontation it takes to be soft. And you think that those two things actually work in opposite of each other, that they contradict each other. How can I be soft and still be confrontational? Because in order to be soft, I have to be safe. And this is why I said a lot of people don't know what they're asking for. Because in order for me to be soft, that's vulnerable. That's open, that's transparent. And I cannot do that in environments that are threatening. I can't do that around people who don't have my best interests at heart. I can't do that in environments where I'm being belittled or I'm being put down, or for whatever reason, it's not safe for me to be myself. So, in order for me to be a soft girl, I have to have safety. And what do I do if I'm in environments that are not safe? I have to confront it. Now, how you confront it, of course, you do that with grace, you do that with tact, but it means I have to have a voice. It means I have to be vocal about what my needs are. It means I have to be open to other people's responses to my boundaries. It means I have to be open to rejection. It means I have to be okay with people walking away. In order for me to be a true soft girl, I'm going to have to be okay with losing some things. I'm going to have to be okay with setting boundaries. I'm going to have to be okay with being very vocal about what works for me and what doesn't. So when I see all those posts about soft girl season, it sounds good. But there is definitely a level of self accountability that comes with soft girl season, because the most feminine of feminine women have learned how to protect themselves in ways that don't require them to go into self betrayal or act out of character, but they are very protective of themselves. If I don't have someone in my environment to protect me, whether it's a husband, a brother, a father, if I don't have a protector, I have to become that protector in order for me to flourish in my softness. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on soft girl season. I want everybody to experience what that feels like, but it's like when they say watch what you pray for because you just might get it. That's what I think about when I see that soft girl. I'm like, yeah, you gonna be soft, but it's soft comes with a sacrifice. You have to learn how to protect yourself appropriately to truly flourish in a soft girl season. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? How is everybody's new year going? How's everybody? Okay. Do we like the YouTube format? I'm definitely going to do a hardwire connection next time because the feedback looks fuzzy. That's one thing I didn't think about today. The feedback looks fuzzy. But what does the audio sound like? Do you think it's possible for a hot air balloon to pop in any way, and how so? I don't know. I definitely am afraid of heights. So getting in a hot air balloon has never been at the top of my list of things to do. Um, I do think it's possible to pop. Don't know how, but I mean, all everything that goes up must come down. So gravity. So yeah, you research that for me. Shoot me an email. Let me know what they say. All right. Any other questions? If not, I will let you guys go because the other thing is batteries. I don't know how long that battery is going to last. And I don't know how long I've been live. How long have I been live? Either way, this is a interesting setup. So either way, this week I know what I want to change for next week already. I already know what I want to change for next week. But continuation. Every episode will be a better episode than the last. And that is a word for somebody's life. Every episode will be a better episode than the last. And I think if y'all aren't careful, and I say y'all, including myself, if you aren't careful, we will find ourselves in episodes of our lives that are disheartening, that are hard, that are discouraging, that are frustrating. And we'll be ready to end the season. Like I'm not watching this anymore. The Walking Dead, when they killed off Glenn, right? Walking Dead was the first show that just mastered cliffhangers, okay? In the episode where they killed one of the main characters, Glenn, and they just left it as a cliffhanger, there was pandemonium in the streets, okay? Everybody was like, I'm not watching this anymore. How dare they do it? And, it was a very sad episode. I was like, oh my, like my emotions were invested. They killed off this character. I'm like, if he's dead, I'm never watching it again. Because the way they left it, you didn't know if he was dead or not. They just insinuated that it's very possible the main character died. And I was boycotting the show. Okay. I was like, never again. They will not kill off my main character. That was one week. The next week, this character, we find out he didn't die. And we were like, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We can keep watching now. And there are episodes in our lives, you guys, where we feel like, yeah, I'm going to die. It's going to die. It's going to be over. It's going to fail. The marriage is going to fail. The job is going to close, and I'm going to lose this, and this is going to happen. And that's all happening in one episode. And in a matter of a week, you get a whole nother episode. And you don't know how that episode is going to go. You don't know if what you're looking at is just a cliffhanger. You don't know if what you're looking at is just a mirage. This is why we have to keep watching, keep going through our lives, cycles, our phases, our episodes, because you don't know how it's going to turn out. But don't walk away from your territory. I just keep hearing that. Don't walk away from your territory because a season or an episode didn't look the way you thought it was going to look. Yeah. Yes. 2023 will be a year of self-reflection and focusing on me. It's past time. Boundaries will be in place too. Absolutely. Absolutely. 2023 is being intentional with me and showing up more of who I see myself becoming. Yes, I'm looking forward to that, Miss Apollina. Absolutely. Okay. Any other intentions for 2023? Any other intentions? All right. So I will let you guys go. Um Next Tuesday, I'm probably going to do YouTube and Instagram at the same time to go live to slowly start weaning people off of Instagram and putting them onto YouTube. Eventually, most of what I do will be on YouTube. So that is the goal. Ciao. What's your vision for yourself for 2023? Um, 2023, I actually see as very much like a elevator for me. We talked about the continuation, we talked about the elevation. There are a lot of things that I think I've laid groundwork for that I do believe 2023 is where I'm going to start seeing those things manifest. The thing about the manifestation though is that I can't get in my own way. If anything I'm clear about, if anything I'm clear about is that we can have whatever we want. I promise you, I do believe we can have the things that we truly desire in our hearts, but we have to get out of our own way, right? That will be my challenge is making sure that I stay laser focused on what that is, regardless of who has something to say about it. Who thinks I should do it this way? Who thinks I should do it that way? Who thinks, you should be doing this. You should be doing everybody got an opinion about what I should be doing, what I should be talking about, where I should be going. But I've already been given an assignment. I've already been given a vision. My goal is to stay laser focused on that goal, that assignment, that vision, saying no to everything that doesn't look like it, right? Showing up fully, wholly. Um, I think 2022 really showed me how to show up despite how I feel. And I've said it all the time, but I had to perform at a very high level in 2022 while not always feeling like performing. Like, not always feeling like this is what I want to do today. This is what I want to say today, but being truly submitted to the vision. That is what 2022 taught me. Remember, life we work in continuations. So if I was taught the skill of showing up, meaning that I am being dedicated to what I'm supposed to do, despite the fact that my emotions are not dedicated to what I'm supposed to do, that means that in 2023, the continuation is okay, she's learned how to show up regardless. Let's let her show up. Let's let her show up. Right? And let her show up is give her the platform, give her the stage, give her what she's been working towards, teaching her how to be committed despite how she feels. There's a real reason behind that. Right? So as life moves in continuations, this is why I say we cannot allow the difficulties of life rob us of the vision. Many of the difficulties are teaching you a skill that prepares you for the vision. And we are so in love with the outcome. We're so in love with the vision that y'all forget I got to get tools to manage the vision, to sustain the vision. Otherwise, whatever I receive will be short lived. So say yes to every opportunity that stretches you this year, because that very much could be the thing that's going to give you what you need to move into the next phase of your vision in your life. So I'm excited about 2023. I truly am. I think it's going to be a year of manifestations. I think dear future wifey, he and I both coined 2023 the year of manifestations. So I'm excited to see what's going to manifest for me. I'm excited to see what's going to manifest for you guys. Many of you have joined the Daily Fix, so I'm going to be able to see it in real time. I'm going to be able to help you navigate life in 2023, and that's exciting to me because I love seeing my clients win and seeing their elevations. Because for some of you guys, I've seen y'all from day one, and from where you are from day one to even where you are now and where you're going to be next year. That's why I show up here. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited. All right. Okay. So do y'all like the YouTube format so far? I already know what I'm going to do different for next week because I don't know. It feels, the camera feels far away. And what else do I want to change? I think if I have the hardwire connection, it'll look better. And I need some decoration. Any interior decorators in the chat? 2023 will be a year of growth and fine-tuning things in my life. Absolutely, Miss Felisa. Amen to the fine-tuning. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Being true to who you are in spite of who don't agree and standing in it. Just know that the more authentic you become, the more people who will disagree with you. But that's good, because if everybody likes you, it means you're not being yourself. If everybody agrees with you, you're not voicing your own true opinions, right? When I'm being authentically me, eventually I'm gonna offend somebody. Eventually somebody's gonna be like, I don't like her. Eventually somebody gonna be like, she's not my cup of tea. Thank you for your feedback, right? But I know when I'm being me, and I know when I'm just trying to appease you. And I would rather be me than to lose myself trying to make you happy. Yes, I'm taking a break from Facebook IG, so it's helpful to see her. Oh, great. That's good. Yes, I'm telling you, some of us definitely need a Instagram cleanse. Instagram, Facebook cleanse. If I didn't have a business, I would definitely not be on Instagram. It's a lot sometimes. So if you guys can take a break from social media, I would definitely recommend it. Especially, can we just commit January? Like, seriously. So in the Daily Fix, January is the month of vision, where the whole month, every call, all of our guest speakers, we're all talking about how to really develop a true vision for 2023. So not just what I want, but who do I want to become? Like, really breaking your vision down so that you can have clarity, like set the foundation for the year with a clear mind. You cannot do that with all these distractions. You cannot do that. And I think it's frustrating for me because even I will see stuff on Instagram and I'm like, why are we putting so much pressure on people to do certain things that may not even be them? It's like people are looking for this blueprint of how to live life instead of just living life according to what looks good and feels good for them, figuring out who am I so that now I know what fits in my life and what doesn't fit, right? I think a lot of people are under pressure, especially during the holiday season. There's a lot of people under pressure because they think that there's a certain way that they're supposed to do life, missing the fact that life is an experience to be experienced. It's to be lived. There is no test at the end of this. There is no, you know, you get 100%, you get 98. There is no grade. All right. At the end of this, God is going to say, did you live according to your purpose of which I designed for you? Did you figure out your purpose? Did you accomplish what I put you in the earth to do? I would hope so. I would. Y'all, listen, God is gonna, I may not make it to heaven. God's gonna be like, listen, take her, go back, try again, reincarnate her. I'm taking a break from social media for the month of January. Yes, I support it. I support it. Definitely. Definitely. It won't hurt. It cannot hurt you. I'm telling you, it cannot hurt you to take a break, delete the app, log out. There is nothing on social media that you're going to miss. Um, but the clarity that you will gain in just those 30 days will be paramount. Absolutely. Gone way too long without truly embracing the experiences. Yes, Miss Apollina. Absolutely. And I encourage you guys to be intentional about what you want to experience. That's one of the things when I do write down my vision, I ask myself, what do I want to experience? Experience, think of it in terms of like emotion, right? So if it's been a long time since I just really laughed, okay, I want to experience laughter. I want to experience joy. If it's been a long time since you've experienced, adventure, right? Or you've been excited. Okay, well, I want to experience excitement. I want to experience wonder. I want to experience, spontaneity. Put those experiences down on paper and then go out into the world and find the things that support those experiences. This is how you create a life that feels good. This is how you create a life that you actually want to live. You have to be intentional to say, what is it that I desire? What is it that I need? What feels good? And then I go out into the world and find those things that support that mission. They're not going to come knocking on your door. Amazon does not deliver them. They are not in the streets. But I have to go out and find the things that bring fulfillment into my life. And for some of you, 2023 is going to be about broadening up your life, inviting more things into it. I think sometimes we get so used to work, home, kids, work, home, kids, work, home, family, maybe the gym. But outside of that, we haven't really taken the time to add experiences into our lives that bring us joy, fulfillment, happiness, love, excitement. And that's where we can be intentional. That's where we can make a change. So if you guys haven't already, I invite you to check out the Daily Fix. Didn't put no links in the bio. Why? Because this was totally unplanned. But the Daily Fix starts next week. So you still you can register at any time, but it is a monthly membership where you will have access to me every morning to start your day off right. You start your morning off with me speaking words into you that are empowering, insightful, giving you tools, equipping you with um, the right thought process, the right perspective, so that you start your day empowered, focused, sure about where you want your life to go, sure about who you're becoming. It takes a lot of the guessing work out of it. If you're my client, then you guys know that I stress having a morning routine. And this is one of those things that you can add to your morning routine to help you start the day in the right frame of mind so that you can be empowered throughout the day. All righty. Oh, the website is thedailyfix.co. Co, thedailyfix.co. Yeah, that's all I have for y'all. I really think that battery's gonna die any second now. Have I been live for 30 minutes? I don't know how long I've been live, y'all. I didn't look at the camera. I'm so unprepared today. But next week, we're gonna be on it. Okay. I'm going to Home Goods this weekend. It's gonna look like a live production. All right, y'all. I have enjoyed you. Thank you guys for coming over to my YouTube. I appreciate it. I'm going to be talking to you guys soon, so stay tuned. And I have no idea what other. I don't have any other announcements. That's it. The Daily Fix. We're going live every Tuesday. That's it. So have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys in 2023. Happy New Year.